So just so you all know, I actually live in the Carnes community as well, so it's great to be out here and seeing everybody here. I live kind of near Grace Baptist Church up in the Stone Ridge subdivision area. So, oh, great. Number one thing I want to emphasize is, at your age, y'all for the most part are probably just getting your running career started. And so the number one thing I want to make sure and emphasize is that you're having a good time. That's really important to me at your age. That's the number one thing that's going on, is that you're having a good time. You're part of a team. You know, track and field is different from cross country. Track is more of an individual sport, but cross country is a team sport. So I think it's really great that you guys are part of a team as well. And you can learn a lot about yourself and about other people by being part of a team and helping each other out. Chris asked me to talk about a few things, or gave me a few suggestions, so I'm going to talk about some things, and if there's any questions along the way, please feel free to raise your hand and ask me, parents or the kids. It doesn't matter. Being 6th, 7th, 8th graders, you're probably not really thinking about, am I gonna be able to run in college or even beyond college? But at some point in time, one of you might reach that level. And so what I want to emphasize about that is kind of the long-term perspective of the sport, in any sport, but really in cross-country and distance running, is the need to be patient. Patience is really, really critical if you want to have success in distance running. You know, the very best runners, the very best distance runners, probably reach their peak in their mid to late 20s. So, you know, if you're in the 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, you're probably, how old, 10, 11 years old, somewhere in that range, 12 years old. I should know, my wife's a 6th grade math teacher in middle school, but I just hear the stories. I don't hear how old y'all are. But, you know, so you have a long career ahead of you if you're going to be in the sport, so you have to be really patient. But along the way, you have to work hard. And it may be tough to understand right now, but everything that you do from day to day is going to impact what happens down the road. Whatever you did today in training, if you train today, that's going to have an impact on tomorrow. And it's going to have an impact 1 week from now, or 1 month from now, or 1 year from now, or when you're in high school, or when you're in college, or beyond. So it's really, really important to think about, did I do something today that's going to help me become a better runner or a better person tomorrow or the next week or the next month? So it's really important that you think about those kinds of things. It doesn't happen overnight. So that's one thing. Setting goals is a good way to help you get from day to day, or from year to year, season to season, week to week, whatever it might be. You should think about, what do I want to accomplish today, or for this week, or for this season in my running career, and jot a couple things down and try to accomplish those things, whether it's a daily routine or a monthly routine. And that's easier said than done, I understand, but I think it applies also to your everyday life, what you do in a classroom, in school. I think it's important that you have goals there. You want to make the best grade you can make. And one of the things I always have told my athletes is, I want an A effort from you. And an A effort in the classroom may mean maybe you get a B. Or an A effort on the cross-country course may mean that you're the 5th runner on the team. If you're given that A effort, then nobody else can question what you're doing. So that's something else I want you to think about. Like I said, patience. I'll give you an example. I don't know if this will make sense to you or not, but let's say, for example, you're an 8th grader and you run 2 minutes and 30 seconds for an 800 meters, and you're getting ready to go into high school. All right, and then there's another person on your team or in your group that runs 220. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. One of the things, let me back up. One of the things I also tell my guys is, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot of improvement on a daily basis or a yearly basis to get better. I emphasize, try and improve 1% a year. And you think about it, 1% doesn't sound like very much, and it's not. All right? Now, at your age, there may be your teenage years that's a little more advanced for whatever reason than you are. That doesn't mean that down the road that you can't be just as fast as that other person. So let's take the example of someone that's going into the 9th grade has run a 220 800 meters on the track, and then somebody that's run a 230. Now, if the 220 person improves 1% a year through the end of their college year, through the end of their senior year in college, and the person ran 230 going in 9th grade improved 2%, which isn't very much either. Who do you think is going to have the better time at the end of their college year? The person that ran 220 improved 1%, or the person that ran 230 improved 2%? Somebody take a guess. Anybody have a guess on that? Yes, ma'am. 220? Who else? 220. Who else here might think 220? Who thinks the 230 person? You know what? They'll both have the same time by their senior year in college. If one person's a 230 and improved 2%, one person's a 220 and improved 1% a year through their college year. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, you guys are young. You're just getting started. Some people are going to be a little faster than you. That's okay. But if you're in this sport for a while, you're eventually going to develop, and you're going to catch up with some people. So I guess my point is, don't be discouraged. If you're the 5th runner on the team or the 7th runner on the team, that's okay. If you're the 1st runner on the team, that's okay too. Because in cross country, the 5th runner is just as important as the 1st runner. The 7th runner is just as important as the 1st runner. So I guess what I'm trying to do is tell you is stay patient. If you really love this sport, you really love running, you will get better, and as long as you do the things on a regular basis, on a daily basis, trying to get a little bit better every day. Okay? Secondly, and this is the tough one, I think, the mental part of running. How many of y'all run a cross-country race this season? Okay? And you get about halfway through the race, and what starts happening? Your legs start to hurt, maybe you got a funny feeling in your stomach, you're sweating, you're going, I don't know if I can go any harder. Can I do any better than what I'm doing? That's the tough part about running. It's what you think about when you're running. Okay? I have runners, college-age runners that will, come at the end of a race, come and say, Coach, I just wasn't feeling good. I knew that guy was feeling better than me. Okay? Or that girl, she looked better than I was feeling or something. Let me tell you, you can't possibly know what the other person is thinking. You can't possibly know that. You may think, there's no way I can outkick this person. That person next to you, she or he might not be feeling any better than you. Or you may be feeling a whole lot better and not even realizing it. So you can't worry about what the other person is doing or thinking. Of course, you want to beat them. If you're running next to a girl, you're running next to a guy, your job as a runner is to try and beat as many people as you can. But never get in the middle of a race and think, I can't go any harder, or I can't beat this person, or things like that. There's no way you could possibly know what the other person is thinking. So how do you push through? How do you push through? Well, that's the tough part. You get to the middle of the race and you say, I don't know if I can go any faster, I'm at a pace that I've never run before. Well, you know what? I tell my runners in cross country is try to get the person in front of you. That's all you need to concentrate. Get that one person. When you get that one person, go for the next person. Keep pushing yourself that way. Think positive thoughts. Okay? It's tough to do, I realize. It's tough to do. As a runner, I went through it myself. I don't look like a runner anymore, but I actually at one time I was pretty good. I'm just kidding. That's terrible. But I'm bow-legged and everything. Look at that. I run as a distance runner with one like that. But anyway, so just remember that it's important that you think positive thoughts through the entire race. And also, being part of a team, let's face it, you don't want to let your teammates down. And also, let's say you're normally been the 7th runner and the 5th and 6th runners aren't having a good race. Now it might be up to you to push and become the 5th runner. There's no set spot on any team. So there may be a couple of your teammates are having a rough time. Well, now it's your responsibility, your job to try and make up for that. All right? But just remember, it's not as tough as it seems. And if you think positively when you're out there, then you're going to get through every race. When you get done with your race, you felt bad during a race. You got done, an hour later. I'm sure you're feeling fine, maybe a little tired, ready to go to bed or something. But there was, you woke up the next day and everything was fine. So just think about that kind of, don't worry about the other runner other than you're trying to beat them. Don't think that they're better than you or feeling better than you, because you can't possibly know that. Any questions? Any questions? Yes. Well, you're right. You don't want that person behind you to catch you, do you? All right, so you got to say, all right, what am I going to do to keep that person from catching me? Well, I think I'm going to try and catch the person in front of me. Okay? Pick it up a little bit. That's a good question. Yes? You have a question? Okay. Just stretching your arms out. That's good. That's all right. All right, the last thing, and I kind of talked about a little bit, is kind of summarize a little bit what it takes to be successful. A couple of things that Coach Kane mentioned to me was discipline. We kind of talked about discipline in terms of what you're going to do on a daily basis, okay? And you learn these things when you're young, and you continue to do the right things and be disciplined. What does discipline mean? Sometimes that can mean making sure you're getting enough rest. Sometimes maybe Coach Kane has mentioned, make sure you drink your water or your Gatorade after your workout or after a race. All right? Those are the kind of things that you need to be doing and thinking about all the time. We talked a little bit about toughness, about when you're in a race. Sometimes you got to be a little tough. You got to be mentally tough. And another way to learn how to do that, to teach yourself to do that, is what you do from day to day. When you're at practice, are you tough all the time, or some of the time? That's maybe one of your goals for the next week is I want to be as tough as I can be for the next week of practice, tougher than I've ever been during practice, and kind of use that as your goal for the next week. Routine means just those kinds of things, getting used to doing the right things all the time. And if you go to school and you have homework, you don't do your homework, what's going to happen? You're probably going to not get a very good grade, right? All right, so you got to do your homework every night, right? All right, same thing goes with running. You got to get your rest every night and do things like that. So those are important things. And then teamwork. Teamwork is obviously very important. You're cross country ahead, and it's a fun sport. And again, I want you to have fun running things. So helping each other out at practice is important. And when you get in a race, that way you know that I've worked with these people. You work with your teammates every day or however long you're practicing. I don't want to let them down. So teamwork is very, very important. And then other than that, again, I want to emphasize the importance of having fun, because if you're not having fun, you're not going to want to continue to do something. So let's make sure that you're having fun. I know Coach Kane is making sure you're having fun. Has anybody, have you all done anything like the Waterloo or the Watts Special or any of those kinds of things, or pedestal?
We've done a little. We've interjected a little bit of it.
Okay.
That we have a competition every year to see who can do 20 Rockies.
20 Rockies. That's very good. 20 Rockies. You got to push up, clap your hand. All right. That's a big deal. It's tough.
We had one do it last year.
Just remember, again, if you watch other sports, or you hear about, boy, that girl, she's got all the talent in the world. Well, you know what? If that girl or guy with all that talent doesn't do the work, they're not going to be the great athletes. It's the people that work hard every day that become great athletes. It's not always the most talented people, so just remember that. Working hard every day, just like in a classroom, working hard every day, doing your homework, that's going to help you have a better chance of getting A's. Okay? Any questions?
Thanks a lot, Coach.